Good evening. Welcome back to the coverage of the IPA European Professional event. We've got the second semi-final here for you. The first one is underway on the outer tables, and it will be an all-Welsh battle between Simon Ward and Jordan Shepherd. I'm delighted to be joined in the Coventry box for the first time this weekend by anyone, actually, but particularly by Scotland's own James Jack. Good evening, James.
Good evening.
Have you had a good tournament?
No.
Well, they say honesty is the best policy, I guess.
Yeah, sure. Turn up with no practice, you don't expect much. But it's been a good weekend, though, out of the pool.
Well, that's the main thing. At least you've enjoyed yourself, as I'm sure you always do.
I always enjoy myself.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
You enjoyed yourself?
Oh, always. It's been delightful.
How's the commentating been going?
Well, I think not too badly, but I'm sure the viewers will disagree.
How did your weekend go at the pool?
Worse than yours, I suspect.
Did you qualify for the 128?
I did, yes. Thanks to two fabulous buys.
2 pies.
2 buys in a row. I played my first match at quarter to midnight on Friday, so it was quite hard to get going at that point, to be honest.
I had a brand new up to qualify. I didn't want to give him any frames, so I just won 6-0. That's how that one went.
You're not allowed to brag about that.
We had money on that we get a frame.
Outrageous.
Who'd you think will win this?
That's a good question. I haven't seen anything of Simon Ward this weekend at all, but Jordan Shepherd was in very, very good form in his quarter-final. So I'm probably gonna edge for Sheppy, but if Simon Ward runs deep in a tournament, he's got a habit of winning them. So either way, I think it's going to be a close one.
But I was going to go Sheppy, but if you're going Sheppy, I'll go Sheppy.
I'm not putting anything on.
Oh, right, okay. You're not Scottish, are you?
Not a fool either.
Right, I'll go Sheppy as well.
Well, we'll see if we're right. It's Jordan Shepherd to get us underway in this semi-final of the IPA European Professional Championships. Jordan's break was pretty superb earlier on, but he's been let down there. That's a dry break, and it's first chance to Simon. Any preference here, James?
I think you can see there's red in the left pocket as we look at it. And then the reds look pretty open, so could be 1-0 Simon.
Absolutely spot on. Yeah, you're right. I would expect Simon to take these out. There's no real danger here. To be honest, he probably could have taken either. But
Yeah, I think that red was easier though. I didn't really see an easy yellow there.
no, you didn't. You don't think he just wanted to go the hard way for the fun of it, then?
No, not against Sheppy.
No.
I think it's going to be a very quick one.
Yeah, that's not a bad shout actually. Jordan probably slightly the quicker of the two players, but Simon doesn't hang around either. That's no disrespect to Simon, because you can't get much quicker than Jordan.
Yeah, but the breaks are really big. They both break well. I played Simon once in the Open last year, and he beat me 7-0 and had 4 break and run. So.
Not a bad standard, is he?
No, I'd done me in about 30 minutes.
I'm surprised he took that long.
Yeah. He's not too straight on this, he can probably just float between maybe all 3 reds to the gap.
Yeah, it was a little bit straighter than I.
Yeah, that wasn't
than that, I think.
straight, it was.
No, the camera the camera lies sometimes, I seem to think. It's a lot easier when you're looking at the table rather than looking at a screen.
Awkward, is it not?
He's not necessarily left it easy to get on his last red here, has he? This is... He can't really get right behind it, so he's going to have to leave it quite thin, I'd have thought. You still wouldn't back against him from this position, but... Yeah, he's made hard work of this finish early on.
He's just dropping this in. He's looking just to like slowly screw back off the cushion and take the black. I was thinking he could probably run through off one cushion and come back across.
Possibly. I think that way he's probably got more risk of going in behind the yellow, hasn't he?
It is tough. There's two ways you can go, so you need to watch it not going off, because you can screw straight into the middle pocket.
Yeah, I have to admit I'd probably just be dropping this and running it through, but I'm not going to question Simon Ward.
No.
Oh, you called it though.
Yeah, it's close.
I think that's a great positional shot, personally.
Perfect.
That is the level that these players are at.
Let's use two knuckles.
Yeah, exactly. Use all of the table. They know what they're doing.
I knew it'd be close to going off if we were screwing that there.
Either way, it is the opening frame for Simon Ward. It's a break of serve to an extent, as it was Jordan's break. So it will be Simon to break next. He'll be looking for a good split to get himself off to a flyer in this semi-final. We can tell you that the score in the other semi-final, which you can probably just about see in that camera view, sort of behind the screen in the middle, that was 1 apiece last time we heard anything. That is Liam Dunster versus Clint Anson. Who do you fancy for that one?
I really hope... No, I want Dunster to win, obviously, but the quicker Dunster loses, I can get up the road.
He's in left home, is he?
No, he's in the left home.
Oh, okay. How selfish of him.
Nah, I hope the wee man wins. He's very consistent though, so you know what you're getting if you agree to a lift with Liam.
You certainly do.
Simon get a ball there, or did he come up dry? I think he come up dry, so it's Sheffy at the table now.
Yeah, 2 dry breaks to start us off, so...
After saying they both break well.
Absolutely. Shows what you know.
Shows what you know.
I didn't say it. Jordan goes reds, and again, not... I mean, the reds are nicely positioned, but he's definitely going to have to do something with the black.
One of the reds doesn't go past the yellow either, so he's going to have to do something with that as well.
Yeah, the red closest to the bottom right corner, bottom left corner rather. He might be able to... I was going to say if he left that particular ball there, he might have been able to drop onto it, but I think he was trying to move that yellow.
Does it go in the centre now though?
It's a thin, well, not thin, but it's a. There's not much pocket to aim at on that shot, is there? But yeah, he might think that's his best option. Queuing off the cushion, it's a tough shot, but
he's guaranteed a choice of 3 reds if he can drop it in.
Yeah. One of those where you just roll it on and let gravity take over, and that's exactly what Jordan Shepherd's done. It's a good shot, gets him back into prime position. Now he's just got to worry about the black.
Well, I think the black goes in the left centre. So if you can take this red he's taking now in the top right, they can just drop the fight in towards the yellow and then take the black into the left middle pocket.
Just got to be careful not to roll it in behind the yellow.
No.
Yeah, that looks like it'll be his plan. You don't want to be moving a ball on your last ball if you can help it.
No,
So
mate. This is a straight stun into the yellow, and he's got the black in the middle pocket.
that though was always the problem. If he hit the yellow full, then it was great. If he caught it half ball either side, he was going to find himself in a little bit of trouble, and that's exactly what he has done.
I never lose a frame set in here.
Mm. No one ever does.
No. What do you think he'll do here? Think he can pot it in the same pocket?
No.
No.
I'll admit, I took the easy route and waited for him to play the shot.
Yeah, I know you did. It's
no,
Sheppy though.
Well, yeah, you're right. I mean, Sheppy can pot balls off the lampshades, but I think that was a stretch even for him. Simon Ward then with the chance to double his advantage. He is.
Do you think he'll play safe here and try and get an easier route to clear up, or do you think he'll go for it from here?
Tricky one. I'm not sure you ever want to let Jordan Shepherd back to the table. As you just said, I don't think there's really anywhere safe on the table when you're playing Jordan, so
No.
I'd always go for the finish pretty much.
And he's all right there. That's coming good for him.
Yeah, he's played the breakout. He's got 2 balls on the rail, but they're not massively issues. And of course, if he takes them first, then certainly the one at the top of the table anyway, he's still have a little bit of control. He's not likely to leave Jordan too much of a shot.
No. Just thinking if he could pot this one here, he's got the one in the middle and then one down the rail and then a couple drop-ins.
Absolutely. And if he doesn't fancy, he could even bump into the one down the rail, because he's bound to have an angle off the one through the middle.
And I think with this shot as well, there's not much pressure on it, because if he misses, he's letting Jordan at the table, but I don't think that black passes. I don't think the white can get in there to pot the black.
I think he'd just leave a double worry to miss this. But Simon Ward doesn't miss very often.
Nope. Do you bump the white into the yellow and push it down towards the pocket?
If it's me, 100%, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially with this angle, there's no point trying to hold it. You're bound to have a yellow next, and it's probably going to make the other yellow better. I can't see that it could go wrong.
Well.
Well, what I should have said is I can't see that it would go wrong with Simon Ward playing that shot.
No.
If it was me or you.
If it was you.
So, all right, that's 6-0 victory for you this weekend.
That's my best one ever. Best result in the IPA I've ever had. You beat 2 buys though.
I did. Hey, they were good. They were good buys. Talking of good buys, would you like to leave?
Where are you going?
Anywhere really. It is Simon Ward though who is going to take this second frame and open up a 2-frame lead over Jordan Shepherd, over his countryman. Simon Ward then, a man known for his comebacks. He's nicknamed the Boomerang because he's never ever out of it, but he is 2 frames to the good in this one, so perhaps no comeback needed today.
I think that's another dry break though. It's 3.
It is. Can Simon Ward take advantage of this 3rd dry break in a row?
A little update on Liam Dunster's game. He's just went 2-1 ahead of Clint Anson. What do you fancy here?
take your pick, really. Probably a slightly easier starter on reds.
I think there's less to do on reds as well, but 50-50.
It's one of those where you can see about 800 routes just looking at it, isn't it?
Well, you can.
Yeah, but I'd get all of them wrong. Simon's having trouble deciding though. Perhaps it's not just us. That makes me feel better.
And he's got a shot clock behind him as well.
He
I
has.
remember.
I do believe the players still have one 30-second extension to use each. And that ball needs to run a little bit. That's not perfect. He'll be okay. He's got a shot available to the middle. I think he was trying to get on the red closest to that cue ball to start off with, because then all of his work's in the middle of the table.
Yeah.
That sort of line of 5 yellows is creating a pretty big wall in terms of getting back down for that red, so that's why I think he tried to play on that first. Simon Ward then has had to leave probably his trickiest ball for later. He's going to have to come back to it. Does look like quite a simple sort of dot-to-dot finish, but he is going to have to get back down for that red. And that's the only real jeopardy here. That's Jordan Shepherd's main hope, I think, at the moment.
And as you said earlier as well, with the wall of yellows to hold the white for the black, he's got a wall of yellows to get through to get on the red.
Yeah, if he can get up on the red, then I think he'll be okay, because he can probably use the yellow that's above it as a blocker. If he just sits on that, then I think he could take the black to the middle. But it's getting on that red, and I think he might have to leave it till last, which isn't ideal. I think it's going to be very much a do or die positional shot at the end of this rack.
He's going to have to play a good one here first. Do you take the left one or the right one in the middle? Because either way you're going off the top rail.
I think the right, because I think the left one is easier to get up for the final red.
You're picking the right because he was standing looking at the right and then he's moved.
Oh, he's going to be the wrong side of that as well.
The good thing though is he's got an angle not going into the yellows. He's got an angle going away, so he can use the top cushion. Oh, in fact, is he quite straight on
It's
that?
not that much of an angle though.
No, it looked like an angle, but
yeah, he's going to have to pump this quite hard. I think he's got a little bit of angle, but
has he got enough angle to screw back then?
I don't think so.
Straight
He's
enough?
so close to the cushion as well.
He's pulling it through. Oh, can he drop it and get the gap? I think he's got the gap.
That is tight. How'd you hold for the black?
Use a yellow. I wouldn't fancy playing this with right hand side.
Does that not kick
Well,
it
he's
into,
gonna have to.
into the yellow?
Yeah, it does, but I would miss the pot.
And that
And that's
was
why.
always the worry with that shot. That was...
Still fancy on maybe to cut this black in though. Two players that are playing.
it's bound to be cushion first. Left-hand cushion into the black.
Well, yeah, but the yellow's there as well, so even if he hits the yellow, it could push it towards the pocket as well.
We'll see. This is a big shot. This is for 3-0, but
And he's got the breakneck.
I have to say he's odds against in quite a big way. He's definitely capable of making this.
I think
And he
got
has made
He's
it. Oh
made
my word, what a shot. Simon Ward, take a bow.
Absolute
Brilliant
class.
shot.
Told you to get that one.
That's one of yours, isn't it?
Correct.
Absolutely.
I would stop the game to stick that one on Facebook.
Oh, I'm sure. I was going to say, I'm sure we'll be seeing that one on social media at some point. That's a superb shot.
Big frame as well, because he's at 3 ahead with the break.
Yeah, 3 ahead with the break. But of course, every break in this match has been dry so far.
Well, there's one coming then.
Can he break the duck? Actually, that's quite an interesting thing about dry breaks. Do you find that a table just seems to flip? Like, you'll be hitting the break constantly, you'll get a ball every time, and then someone will make a break and nothing will go in, and nothing will go in for 4, 5, 6 breaks. Really weird.
As I've noticed with IPA, I use a cut break a lot when I'm down here, but back home I would just go straight down the middle, or I'd always go for front ball, but I can never get a ball down here hitting the front ball. So
funny, I'm exactly the other way.
Yeah, I can never get a ball.
I do find that when you're on the sort of really freshly minted Strachan 861 cloths, that it's best to take some pace off it. I hit it dead straight and just half power, and they seem to go everywhere.
I don't fancy getting free past the middle.
Yeah. Well, he's hit him well, and he's made a ball this time. He's made 2. That cue ball was going mightily close. But he has got a little bit of an issue in that top left corner. He's got a red and a yellow over the pocket. And can he plant it to start?
No, I think the yellow might pass and move the red out of the way, and then the yellows are dropping. But then...
That's tight, that.
It is, but then he's not really got a shot in the red, and he's going to have to play the plant if he's... Unless he takes the red over the pocket first. He's going to have to do something from the top bag first shot, I think.
Yeah, if he takes that red over the bottom left pocket first, then he's leaving himself a problem later on, although he could still play it as a plant. Does have a yellow to middle, but there's no advantage taking that because of that top left pocket again. So
I think he's looking at this red over the pocket. There's a white ball going.
Nah, off the jaw. Close though. It's actually worked out really well. He loves his jaws, doesn't he, Simon? He's having a great day with jaws today.
Will we plant the red onto the yellow then? Onto the red.
I mean, I think you could play that shot and probably get the yellow back out of the way quite easily. If you catch the red with the yellow quite thin, it's bound to come out of the way. But I want to be playing it sooner rather than later. I'd certainly want to leave the red in the middle of the table as a bit of insurance if it went wrong.
Yeah. Liam Dunster just went 3-1 up on Coventry Anson in the other semi-final.
Yeah, I mean, it really is a sort of a classic IPA semi-final lineup, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Dunster, Anson, Ward and Shepherd.
And it was a classic amateur final as well.
Oh, well, to be honest, I mean, there are some phenomenal players in the amateur section this year, especially more so than any year I've ever been a part of the IPA. But if you had to pick a final, it'd probably be that.
I think they're number 1 seed and number 2 seed as well in the rankings at the moment, so that's a good thing. They miss each other.
Yeah, of course, the amateur rankings aren't seeded. How's this shot come out for Simon Ward? It's come out right. It's come out really nicely, actually.
So they got the luck of the draw then, that they missed each other.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there is no seed. There is no actual seeding in the amateur side at all. It is just the draw.
A lot of big names missed each other, so I thought it was maybe seeded, but we got lucky.
I think there was a couple of quite high-profile matches early on. I think it was Simon Fitzsimmons playing Josh Durant in the second round.
Was that round 2, was it?
Yeah.
I wasn't in round 2.
I was. I got a bye. I didn't actually. I did win. I did win my first round amateur match. I did get a win on the board this weekend. Talking of getting a win on the board, Simon Ward looks very much like he's racing into a 4-0 lead here over Jordan Shepherd. As much as Jordan is capable of rattling off several frames in a row, he's going to have to start worrying soon.
Yeah, John's not done much wrong. He just that one slack shot on to get on the black, and he's lost. Was he lost 2 frames from his break?
Absolutely, and of course Simon made almost
It's perfect.
a very, very similar error to Jordan, except he managed to get out of the snooker he laid for himself and pot it.
Mm. So Simons took a frame from his break and 2 frames from Jordan's break.
Taking 2 frames from both now as he takes a 4-0 lead. But yeah, it's Jordan Shepherd needs to find something, preferably from the break here. Really, 4-0 is quite the deficit. He needs to arrest that pretty soon. Do you think? I mean, we've just literally seen probably the greatest comeback in the IPA for a very, very long time. In 6-1 down, Scott Gillespie being beaten by 6-1 up, Scott Gillespie being beaten by Tom Cousins. Do you think, as a player, that there's any time when you sort of think, okay, no, I'm too far back now, or are you always?
Nah, it depends. Like, I'm probably the worst for when I go behind. I'm just like, I give up. But there's other times where I've not gave up and I've come back. And I think it just depends how the frames before have went. Because if you go 4 or 5 down, you know you've not done much wrong. You're like, you just shrug it off. You're like, oh, well, the guy's playing well. But if it's been 4 or 5 really tight frames and you've struggled and he's struggled, but he's managed to win them, I think you just start getting slouchy and you're just like, oh, right, I've had enough.
So do you think Jordan is probably?
Jordan will feel okay.
He's fine because he knows he hasn't really done much wrong.
He's done one thing wrong and had 2 dry breaks and he's 4 behind. So he knows himself. He can't do nothing about it. It's just the way pool goes sometimes.
It certainly is.
It's because he's turned up there and he's managed to get a ball off his break and now he's at the table. And if he pulls one back here, he still knows he's done nothing wrong and he's only 3 behind. And then if he sneaks Simon's break, he's only 2 behind.
Yeah, it certainly is a sport that can change very, very quickly. I would say Jordan's issue, I think that red passes the black to the bottom left, but it's very, very close. I imagine he'd have tried to move it by now if he didn't know. So I'd say his issue is...
I can tell by the shadows that I think it passes. And it goes in the centre as well. And it goes on the top. I think it goes in 3 pockets.
So with moving that final red on the right hand cushion, he's really opened himself up a good chance here. Just needs to mind his work and keep his cue ball under control.
Hold off a yellow or run through. Hold off.
I know it's not too bad, but I'm sure he'd rather not be cueing right off the cushion here.
No, but the pocket that the red did go in that's next to the black, if you want to run through, it doesn't go now because he's covered it with the yellow. Oh, and that's a good shot.
It is indeed, and that cue ball has just slowed up enough. So he's got a fairly comfortable red to the middle. If that had run on a few more inches, he might have been in a bit of trouble, but perfectly weighted, perfectly judged by Jordan Shepherd, and he will get himself on the board. It's 4-1 to Simon Ward now. Jordan Shepherd reduces the deficit down to 3 frames.
Yeah, the only 2 mistakes that they both have made have both come on the black, but Simon got away with his and Jordan didn't.
Absolutely. Simon actually pulled off an absolute worldie, to be fair.
Yeah.
But do you feel, if you've played that shot, are you thinking, oh, I got away with one there, or are you thinking, oh, I've played a beauty?
I'm thinking I'm best in the world. What a shot I've just played.
Yeah, but we knew that about you.
What did you ask?
You think you're the best in the world.
Well, if you play a shot like that, you're like, turn around looking at people, you see that black?
Into the 6th frame of this semi-final we go. It is Simon Ward to break. He leads by 3, so a big break here, and he can keep Jordan Shepherd at bay.
I called the dry one for Jordan here, and if he gets that, he's only 2 behind.
He called it, but it didn't happen. And
the black was close though.
it certainly was. And that, I always think it makes for an awkward frame when the black goes close to a pocket like that.
Depends what it covers.
At the moment, it's covering sort of quite an important ball for both, really, isn't it? Those two, that red and yellow on the right-hand side rail that are closest to each other. That's the only pocket for either of those balls. So
I'm not sure if the yellow could drop in the middle pocket if he takes it last, and it goes in the top, no problem. So If you can get rid of the 5 yellows out in the open and come down for the yellow at the bottom second last, he can just drift it in and take the straight yellow on the top right, and he's got an easy black. So effectively that yellow on the right becomes his black one.
Yeah. Yeah, all about that yellow on the right. And to be fair, he's got the yellow on the bottom cushion as well is a really nice ball to get onto that with. It's not like he's going to have to judge anything too precisely.
No.
So actually, the more you look at it, especially if that yellow does drop in the middle easier than it looks, this becomes quite an easy finish.
And he's made that easier to get on that ball at the bottom because he's pushed one down towards the left-hand pocket.
Yeah, all of a sudden a really natural pattern has opened up for Simon Ward. You have to say he's playing very, very well.
It's Bill though. On miss. Change it.
We've seen some misses on this table today as well. I'd say near enough everyone I've seen has missed 2 or 3, to be honest, easy balls. It's been really surprising, and actually this is the first match that I've seen where, so far so good, that hasn't really happened.
I think he's going to go into this and try and bring them out.
The Ben Davis Dunster game springs to mind, especially. Both of them missed some absolute dollies.
Well, that shot that Ben had to get on the black to win the match, and he didn't screw back far enough.
Oh, unreal. He just didn't hit it.
No. And he had about 3-4 foot he could have maybe landed in. Just didn't come back.
Well, you said he's going to move it, and he did, and that is an excellent shot from Simon Ward.
Still a bit awkward though for the white. I think he needs to run through and push the white between the red and yellow, and just kind of split them.
I wonder if he's just got enough angle to punch it through the 2 reds and leave himself.
Or like to stun out for the
for the yellow in the middle of the table to either corner pocket really, depending on how far he runs it.
Gillespie in the last match he had a straight black and that he missed to win the match.
I was busy having a break at that point, but I did hear about it.
I would normally give Gibbs that 10 out of 10.
It was the run through, and that's come out okay for Simon Ward. He's got to keep the cue ball to the right of that yellow though. If he hits this too hard, comes off the cushion and comes back across, then he's in trouble. So he's got quite a lot of angle here.
Depends what side he's playing it. If he plays it with inside left, he can run 3 cushions. Oh, he's perfect, 2 cushions.
That is a superb positional shot. And that essentially was frame
easy.
ball.
5-1.
Yep, the easiest of blacks for Simon Ward to re-establish his 4-frame lead. It will be Jordan Shepherd to break in the 7th, and he really does need a ball off this one. It's just getting harder and harder for Jordan to come back into this.
The only good thing about watching this is that Shepherd dashed 4 against me off his break, and he's now done 2 against Jordan, so it's not just me, he does it to a lot of people, even the top boys.
We are, of course, we've still got a couple of competitions going on. We have completed the Open and the Amateur this weekend. We do still have the ladies, and I can confirm that our first ladies finals will be Northern Ireland's Emma Cunningham. I don't think anyone will get any prizes for guessing that. The other semi-final is an all-Welsh affair between Beck Sweeney and Lauren Williams, and Beck is currently leading that by 3 frames to 2. In the other semi-final in the professional event as well, Liam Dunster is currently leading Clint Anson 3 frames to 2, so Clint has pulled one out.
Try break there by Jordan.
And it's another wonderful opportunity for Simon. It's not going Jordan's way at the moment, is it?
No. Ricky's weekend's coming to an end here.
Well, I mean, I know it was the final, so both of their weekends were coming to an end, but you'd have thought that... No, I was going to say, you'd have thought that for Tom Cousins just half an hour ago.
You've confused me now. It's easy.
Hopefully the viewers will understand what I'm saying, even if you don't.
Hopefully.
We'll cross our fingers. Either way, Simon Ward is at the table and looking in fearsome form. It's been a little while for him since he won a comp on the IPA, I believe. He certainly made it a final in Belfast, but he was soundly beaten in that one by Jack Whelan, who just put in a phenomenal performance against him. Simon Ward looking to get back into the winner's enclosure, and so far he is doing a great job today. Just this little tricky little area of 3 reds. And he looks quite straight on this red he's closest to, so how do you see him taking these out?
Again, it's tough. You just said that he's quite straight on us. I thought if he maybe had an angle, he could try and disturb them. But if he can screw back and cheat the pocket, if he gets into this yellow closest to the reds on the left side of the table, well, towards the black spot, he can maybe get the red in the centre. Like that. He's missed it.
He's missed it. How's his luck? That does not look good at all. A lifeline for Jordan Shepherd, perhaps, because, well, Simon Ward's got himself out of a tough situation once in this match, but this one looks even tougher. Can't see a pot at all from here.
No, I can't see nothing. Now, when you can't see nothing like this, do you have a hit and hope? Or do you try and just tactically put the white somewhere or tie something up?
Don't really know where you put the white or what you tie up from this situation, to be honest. I would be tempted to have a smash at this. Oh, I might have seen something. The middle of those... Oh no, I was going to say up and down into the middle of the 2 reds. Might have been a plant. He's just chosen to put the cue ball on the top cushion, and that's not a bad shot at all, actually. All of those reds are suddenly open, and Jordan doesn't have anything massively easy to start with. Queuing off the cushion, he's got a ball into the middle. It's not the most difficult, but comfortably done.
Yeah, and he's got a ball up there beside the 2 yellows that are tied up, so you can just disturb them. And then the black's close to the pocket, so he's got nothing to know what to do. He's had the shots bringing the 2 yellows out.
Well, it looked for all the world as if Simon Ward was going to take a 6-1 lead, but he was sort of punished really for not going into that cluster earlier. And he left himself too straight, left himself too much to do. And Jordan Shepherd now, what's he done there?
I wouldn't have used that ball to bring them out.
No, I'm with you on that. He had a lovely opportunity with the next ball. There wasn't too much that could have gone wrong.
The good thing here is he can just slide off the yellows in behind the yellows. Cover Simon on all 3 reds. Or he can try and pot one. Don't think he can though, he'll just be sliding off it.
No, this is Sheppy, but even Jordan Shepherd every now and then will play a safety shot, and that is a very good safety shot, you have to say.
Yeah.
The only downside to that safety shot is it's not the most difficult of his games, and he's not going to have a pot to come back to.
No, I would have hit it a little bit harder, because you know you're only ever going to leave on 1 cushion. So if he makes it a little bit harder, he brings more of his reds into play when Simon obviously comes out the snooker. But again, he didn't leave himself a pot, so he's going to have to put another safety here.
Yeah, I imagine he can flick off the right side of that yellow closest to the cue ball and just leave the...
And go to a cushion.
Yeah, precisely. Leave the cue ball roughly where he's pointing his cue now. Again, he will hope that this will break those yellows apart and leave one of them potable. But I think there is every chance that it might just sort of clump back together again if he gets the pace wrong. That's a very good shot. Simon Ward this time does find himself in trouble, because if he doesn't get out of this and get it safe, the chances are Jordan Shepherd is going to take this 7th frame.
He should have played that sort of shot the shot before, but doesn't really matter now.
Better late than never.
Yeah, I think here, unless Simon can go 2 cushions and roll the white up behind the red, he's going to have to try and disturb something and push it towards the pocket, but can't really see any sort of shot he can do that.
Not absolutely sure it's a total snooker either, so might need to hit a cushion afterwards. That's why he's gone for a hit and hope. And he hasn't hoped enough.
Oh.
Although it's not a bad
It's not
result
bad.
at all, actually.
Sheppy will put this in the centre and just glide off the side cushion.
Do you think he's going a little bit close to that red, or do you think he'll just dig down at it? And
I think, well, he's running through. Put that way. Doesn't want to be queuing over the red though.
when things aren't going perfectly for you, everything just gets that little bit more difficult, doesn't it? And this is exactly one of those examples. Nicely cued though by Jordan Shepherd.
He's over the red again though. Is he?
I think he's just decided it this time. I think he's just about got away with that one.
(6-2). No, 5-2.
5-2.
5-2.
5-2. We've got a game back on.
Yep. Simon's break.
6-1. I really would have feared for Jordan, but
Simon's due a dry one. Oh, he went 2 dry, 2.
yeah, he did. Yeah, no. Simon had his first one dry and then cleared up off his second.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, probably is due a dry one compared to Jordan. Paul doesn't work like that.
And Liam Dunster just went 4-2 up on Clint Anson in the other semi-final.
Yeah, your mate is keeping you here as long as he can. Isn't
He loves it. He loves just annoying people. The only good thing for me is I'm not driving, so I can sleep.
It's all right for some. Simon, who was due a dry break, according to James, doesn't have one again.
No.
And barring that little area at the top right of the table, that's a beauty of a break. But he is, I don't think he can cut that yellow in, so he might have to do some manoeuvring. But it's definitely yellow, surely.
Has to be, doesn't it? Try to have a look if we can maybe pot the one in the middle and then leave just off straight and on the yellow is closest to, and run through off the side cushion and then into the red. You see what I've seen?
I do,
Yeah.
yeah. Or he could stun this one and leave the yellow that he's closest to into the opposite middle.
Yeah, in the middle and then
Angle as well.
go off the other cushion
Yeah,
and bump
it's,
the red. Just needs to leave him an angle to bump up into the red off one of the cushions.
And he hasn't done it there,
No.
which means he's going to have to leave that. Not ideal. You never want to leave your problem ball. You want to get the problem ball out as early as possible. And Simon did have an opportunity there, but just didn't quite work out for him. And Simon Ward has missed. I can't believe he's missed that. I was saying about some uncharacteristic misses, but that really is up there. I'm not sure it's cost him too much, though.
I think he's still in quite good control of it. Although, don't know if Jordan could put this red in off the yellow.
If he does, that would certainly open things up, but he's hit that miles too thick, and actually he's made it a lot easier for Simon now because that yellow is gettable. Simon can drop the cue ball down onto the top cushion, and all of a sudden that yellow goes. So Jordan's done some of Simon's work for him there, really.
Yeah.
Do you reckon he missed on purpose?
Yeah, he's want to go home. He's like all of us, ready to go. You come far enough?
Just about, I think. He'd like to be straighter on this yellow to the right middle. I think he's got
I think if
probably not quite too much angle that he can.
if he goes cushion first and drops us in, he'll get the yellow that he's there into the other middle.
Yeah.
Just took it that way. He's come across and we're getting the top left. It's looking like 6-2.
Yeah, it certainly is. So the missed pot there from Simon doesn't look like it's going to cost him in this frame.
that could have been a bit better though.
Yeah, I feel like he'd like to have taken the yellow closest to the black spot first. And he's done that
That was a problem.
fraction as well, yeah.
Now he's got to be careful with the white here, going into the reds. Or can he come through the gap between the red and the black?
Do you think, I think I might overhit this just to make sure to get the reds out of the way.
Just come through the gap.
Perfect. Beautiful. Great control there from Simon Ward.
He's played some good shots in this match.
He certainly has, and he has raced into a 6-2 lead. This match is looking more and more ominous for Jordan Shepherd.
The thing is, if you go back to the ball that Sheppy just missed, although Sheppy wasn't in control of the frame, Simon still had work to do to win the frame. So there's players maybe like Dunster who maybe would have just kept himself in the frame and let Simon try and work out, whereas Sheppy's went for the attacking option to move his ball, and it's not come off and he's lost the frame.
Yeah, you don't often see Sheppy not going for the attacking option, to be honest.
No. Sometimes it comes off, sometimes it doesn't.
And I think, to be honest, that's the way he plays the game.
Oh, he won't mind.
No, I think he'd rather go for it than maybe not quite, but I think he'd almost rather go for it and lose in 5 minutes than spend 40 minutes trying.
Yeah.
I think he'd rather just move on with the frame and get on with the next one half the time.
No, I think a lot of us are like that, aren't we?
Yeah, that's probably true, actually. There's the odd one that's not. You know, it does make you want to... Let's not finish that sentence.
No.
I'm sure everyone at home gets the picture.
Anyway, dry break for Jordan.
What a surprise. It's not going well for him, is it? Like you say, he hasn't done a huge amount wrong in this game, Jordan Shepherd. He's just come up against a Simon Ward in form, and it's not fair to say Simon's had the run of the balls, but it's probably fair to say that Jordan hasn't.
No, well, he's had 5 breaks, and I think 4 have been dry. And at this level, you can't afford that.
Don't think, to be fair, don't think he's caught this one quite as well as the others. The split doesn't look as good. It's not sort of exploded out of the pack. There's quite a lot of clusters. Never shot from Simon there. He opts to go yellows, but
Puts a red
make
safe.
sure he puts a red safe.
Great shot.
Do you find yourself looking for shots like that, sort of constantly thinking about, or not constantly, but sort of thinking about what might happen if your opponent gets back in, trying to make their life difficult if you can?
Well, that's what I was going to say. Like, that's part of the difference between a lot of the top pros and some of the amateurs coming through, is they would have just thought, I'll pot the yellow, but Simon's went, I'll pot the yellow, but I'll put his red safe in the same shot, and he's got the same outcome with the white. He's not had to, it's still the same shot, but
yeah. So essentially, because he can, he's just added an extra sort of element to the shot that helps him out potentially in the long run.
And they see that quicker, and they actually play it, whereas a lot of amateurs maybe don't see it and they don't play it, and if they do miss, they've not got anything like to fall back on.
I find a lot of amateurs, and maybe not necessarily amateurs at IPA level of amateur, but like amateurs who, if they tried to do something like that, would overthink it and
Yeah,
sort
and
of
probably put the red
miss
over
the pot, or put the red over the corner pocket, or yeah, just any number of a litany of mistakes that they could make.
They just
Sometimes I guess it is about playing to your strengths, but if you can see shots like that, it's definitely worth doing it.
definitely.
You see, Simon now has run himself out of position, and also he's covered the rail for that red, perhaps a little fortuitously with that shot, but nevertheless, it does make it a little bit more difficult for Jordan to clear up.
You said the word there, I have no idea what I mean.
Let's not go there. It meant lucky.
Oh, I might need to use that one.
I was saying he was lucky.
Yeah. I guess Jordan's just missed there, so he's let Simon back in.
Yeah, he has, and it wasn't a great miss either. It was a tough pot to the centre, and it was missable, but you didn't expect him to.
I don't know what Simon's looking at. I think he's just got this one ball he can cut into the top right, but it's a tough shot when he's queuing over his other yellow.
Yeah, I was wondering if he was maybe looking at the really thin cut in the bottom left, but it might not be potable.
that's a beauty if it comes round.
It is. Where's the cue ball? Oh, I thought it was just going to run into the yellow and flick into the pocket.
And there you go. He's used the red that he put safe to hold the white.
Genius.
He's genius.
He knew about that 5 minutes ago.
He did. That's the difference.
That's the level of control these players have. They are psychic.
He's got to find a pocket for the black now. Looks like it maybe only goes in the bottom left or the top left.
Yeah, I think it goes in either of the left corners, but I'd imagine he's played that so that he can leave it to go into the top left. So, left hand and then bottom rail will leave him nice and straight on that black to the top left corner. Simon has decided that he'd prefer to take that ball into the bottom left, so he's brought the cue ball round. Still a nice shot. Perhaps just worried about the cue ball there if he goes cushion first into the red with the cue ball. To be honest, that's an extra bit to the shot that he didn't really need to think about if he dropped it into the top corner. Oh, it was close as well. He was right to be worried, but nevertheless, he has opened up a 5-frame lead, and he's 1 away. It's Simon Ward 7, Jordan Shepherd 2. I can tell you in this short break that Liam Dunster has just opened up a 5-2 lead over Clint Anson.
Woohoo.
You sound delighted.
Amazing.
And in our ladies semi-final, waiting to play Emma Cunningham, Beck Sweeney has drawn level with Lauren Williams. They are at 3 apiece in a race to 6. So still some mileage in that match yet.
An absolute shock that Liam's 5-2 up.
Yeah, but you know he's going to go just for you.
You know he's going to play his 2 Premier League matches and he's going to win the semi and play in the final. He's got 4 matches still.
Wow, Simon Ward has absolutely leathered that break, and he has put the cue ball straight into the middle pocket. He lost a little bit of control there, and Jordan Shepherd has the chance to capitalise on that mistake. You do fear it's probably too little too late. However, we have just on the stream seen a player come back from 5 frames down rather.
And here we go again.
Would you rule it out this time?
No. Nah, I probably would, to be fair. I just think Simon's break's too good to keep going off.
Absolutely agree. Unfortunately, James Jack is going to be leaving the commentary box as someone's offered him a lift home.
I have just been given the biggest lifeline ever.
Outrageous. I can't believe you're leaving me.
Absolutely amazing. You know what I'll do?
You owe me dinner.
Do you know what I'll do?
And I eat a lot.
I'll listen to you on the way home.
Oh, thanks.
And then I'll fall asleep.
Yeah, that's fine. To be honest, I'm pretty sure I've sent all the other viewers to sleep, so we've got no problem with that.
Right. Anyway, it's been fun. I'll see you at the next event.
It's been a pleasure. Thanks, James.
Right, I'll see you after. Bye.
See you soon. Well, rest assured, I will be with you for the duration of this match, and I would imagine the duration of the day. Jordan Shepherd still just about in this match. He's going to kick and scream and fight till the very end. You have to say it's probably a step too far to come back from 5 frames down against Simon Ward. Jordan Shepherd pulls the arrears back, but well, will it be too little too late? He does have the break. He could build some momentum here. And the ladies semi-final, Beck Sweeney moves a step closer to her first ever IPA final. She has just taken a 4-3 lead over her compatriot Lauren Williams. Well, Liam Dunster still leads Clint Anson by 5 frames to 2 in the second professional semi-final. Another dry break then from Jordan. And he has pushed everything to that left-hand side of the table. And he hasn't really left much of a starter here for Simon. So we may see some sort of containing shot. If not, it's going to have to be a very, very good pot. Well, that is a beautiful opening pot from Simon Ward. He's decided to go reds, but if I'm honest, I'm not sure what it's left him now. He's in a spot here. Needs to be careful as well, because moving the reds that he can see will open up the yellows. Simon choosing just a containing safety there. Sticks Jordan in close to those 2 yellows. But this could be quite the protracted little frame. Jordan going for the safety. Now that might be a total, it might not. I sort of think Jordan would rather it wasn't, to be honest. He'd like to force Simon into having to hit that red that's blocking those 2 yellows, because then it would open things up for him. From here it does look like he won't have to hit a cushion afterwards, so Simon can come round off 2 and nestle into one of the other reds. What a shot by Jordan Shepherd. That's a brilliant plant. But still no obvious finish on from here. It does look like Jordan's going to try and attack his way out of trouble. We've got a small earthquake going on in the Coventry rocks. Don't worry at home. We are fine. Jordan now trying to find his way out of a spot here. Tried the expansive shot, tried the double, didn't come off. And now Simon Ward with an opportunity really to win the match, but he's got a little bit of work to do. In particular, the red just above the black there, that is in a deep amount of trouble. But he does have balls around it with which to potentially move it, so if he decides to go game here, we could see the end of this match. brilliant shot. Simon Ward with an excellent cannon shot there. Really opens things up for him, and you'd have to fancy him to finish the frame off from here now. He decided it was worth the risk at 7-3 up. He wants to get this match done and dusted, because this will be the first semi to finish if he does win it here, so it'll give Simon the chance to go and get 10, 20, 30 minutes of rest and relaxation in before the final, whereas the winner of the Liam Dunster-Clint Anson game will have to jump pretty much straight back into the action. So definitely an advantage for Simon if he can wrap this up quickly. The Liam Dunster-Clint Anson game is locked in at 5 frames to 2 still to Dunster. As Simon Ward plays a beautiful cut shot down the rail. I think Joe Root would have been proud of that one. If anyone noticed, I have been washing the ashes during the brief moments I haven't been on your commentary. Talking of brief moments, I would imagine Simon Ward will get to have one soon enough. There we go. Simon Ward runs out a relatively easy winner over a luckless Jordan Shepherd in this IPA European Professional semi-final. The final score, Simon Ward 8, Jordan Shepherd 3. It really was a high quality performance from the Boomerang, who didn't have to resort to one of his trademark comebacks as he led from the front and never ever gave in. Never gave up his lead. Clint Anson has pulled a frame back against Liam Dunster, so that one stands at 5 frames to 3 now. Whilst Beck Sweeney is still 4-3 up on Lauren Williams in the ladies' semi-final. Emma Cunningham's had quite a long rest, and I suspect Simon Ward might get quite a long one as well.
Joined by our first finalist in the pro event, Simon. That was a class performance there. There was some real tricky finishes that you had to manoeuvre there, and you did them effortlessly.
Yeah, I felt really comfortable, to be honest. Yeah, best I felt all day. So I matched on the TV table first thing this morning, and I wasn't too clever. I was lucky to get away with that one, but played really well there. Yeah,
I've seen you. You obviously played well in Belfast, getting to the final professional event, but that's probably the best I've seen you play for some time. Did it feel like that?
Yeah, I suppose it did. I think every sort of nudge I needed to make, I sort of played it well. And I mean, I didn't. Although I played a couple of good shots, I never really had a sort of tricky ball to get on. My white seemed to be a bit in control, so I made it easy for myself, to be honest.
You're one of these players that if you get past the first couple of rounds, you generally go deep. Obviously, we all know that you're not a big practicer, and the first couple of rounds, I guess you are vulnerable.
Yeah.
But once you get through, you tend to always get to the semis and finals.
Yeah.
So another final to look forward to.
Yeah, I am looking forward to it. Hopefully, I lost this in this final last year, so hopefully, I can go on better.
Okay, well, good luck in the final later.
Cheers,
well played.
Just bear with us on the stream. We are just waiting for information from the top table as to what's going to happen next. Well, we're just awaiting news from the top table, and I can confirm that we are going to be moving the Clint Anson Liam Dunster match across to the stream table. You can just see Clint's just walked into the arena there. So we will be back with you shortly in a couple of minutes to resume this match. I can confirm that the score currently is 6-3 to Dunster. And as soon as the players are ready, we'll be back with you for the conclusion of this semi-final. We are back here at the IPA European Open here in Coventry. This is the professional event, and we are watching the resumption of a semi-final that started on the outer arena tables but has been moved to the stream to give us something to watch and to give us something to commentate. I say us because I have been joined once again in the commentary box, but this time by Sam Grisdale. Welcome to the commentary box, Sam.
Good evening.
Have you had a good weekend?
Yeah, it's been good. It's been a good one.
So Liam Dunster to break, currently leading by 6 frames to 3. But that is a dry break for Liam. So first blood in this frame will go to Clint. Looks to me as if he would probably take the reds. Don't think he's got a yellow to start with.
Yeah, I think yellow is a little bit tricky to start off with here. Just trying to find that opening red.
Yeah, I think he could probably cut the one that's nearest the top right corner, or he could possibly take the one that's more in the middle of the table to the right centre as well. But it's not an easy finish, although all the reds seem to have a pocket. Just going to be about the order he takes them in. Don't think that was necessarily a particularly helpful flick on that red. To me, it looks like he's really only got the red now at the top right to have a go at, and even then he might have to play it as a plant.
It does look a little bit hampered.
He can just sneak this one past him. Actually, if he does, runs into that red, that would open things up quite nicely. That's a nice shot by Clint, and that certainly opens up the frame for him. I wouldn't say it's quite at his mercy just yet, but if he can flick this one in and land nicely on that red on the bottom rail, he's definitely off to a good start in this frame. So, as a general rule, the players will sort of work their pattern of play out, if you like, from the black backwards. They sort of choose a ball to get on the black with, and then work that. Would you be leaving the ball in the middle of the table for your last ball now? Or it doesn't look like Clint is.
I would have, yeah, definitely. He may still have that option, to be fair.
Yeah, it was close as to whether he could get to the one at the top right, but nevertheless, it doesn't.
And this is why I never get to these stages.
Yes, unfortunately, both of your commentators this evening are rank amateurs, but we will do our best to bring you the coverage, nevertheless. Clint's overrun this a little bit. He doesn't want to be hampered here. And this looks a little bit tricky, actually. I think he's going to have to top the red through and come back up the table. Doesn't want to have to dig down over that yellow. Choosing to screw across the table, but that looked a risky shot to me because I don't think that black goes to either corner.
I don't think it does. It's he's left that tricky.
Now, my partner in the commentary box is an expert on doubles, so what do you reckon?
I'd like to cock that here. It'd be beautiful.
Not as good as that, though.
Well, that's probably the easier option, really, isn't it?
That's a beauty by Clint Anson. And that is a very much needed frame. He now trails Liam Dunster by just the 2 frames. It's 6-4 to Liam. And you have to say, 2-frame deficit is not so bad. You can see Clint there just trying to get the pace of the table. These two have had to move across. They started this game on a different table, so that can be a tricky thing for players to adjust to. Just while we're in between frames, I'll just give you a quick update in the ladies' semi-final. Beck Sweeney has gone 1 frame away from victory. She leads Lauren Williams by 5 frames to 4. Lauren hanging in there. But that, as we say that, is an in-off on the break from Clint Anson. So first opportunity in this 11th frame goes to Liam. And it's a very good opportunity to me. Would you have a particular preference here, Sam?
Just looking at it, I'd like to say reds, to be honest.
Is that just because of the yellow on the side cushion, or is there anything else that you see as a particular issue?
It is mainly that yellow down the side rail. I mean, it's not too much of an issue if you were to end up on yellow, but I just feel you could sort of work your way down the table.
He's got a free shot though, so
yeah, but I would still take reds.
So if you take the reds, then you've already got the yellow there as a sort of little bit of an insurance policy, I guess.
Yeah, as such, yeah.
Liam, however, goes the other way and decides to bump that difficult yellow off the cushion up to the top pocket. You really could have made a case for either colour there. That was a bit unfair of me to ask, but, you know, life's unfair.
Yeah, thanks for that.
Liam, of course, just needs 2 frames, so this will get him to a point where he's just 1 frame away. And you sort of feel like when you're sat in your chair and your opponent needs 1 frame and you need 2 or 3, that is definitely a big gap to surmount. Although if anyone can do so, it would be Clint Anson. Using all of the pocket for that yellow, and I guess the only, I mean, he's left himself a plant here. I guess the only sort of slightly tricky yellow is the one that's in the middle of that cluster, in the middle of the table, to the left of the black. That just only goes into the, I mean, it goes into several pockets. It's just getting onto it, but even then, I'm just trying to create a bit of tension really. Liam Dunster is a player who, when you watch him, it's difficult to create tension with, though. He's so very, very steady. Almost metronomic in his action. Not sure he's quite straight on this yellow to the middle. Not too much of a problem. He could probably use the black to hold it, but I'm sure he would have liked just to have been able to run through and drop these 3 balls in. He may still be able to. Played it off the red to hold position. That's clever.
What would you do here? Would you just screw this back a little bit into the black? Leave it for the middle?
Yeah, I think I probably would. I think as long as you play it fairly softly, you're pretty much guaranteed for that to be okay. If you were to absolutely pump it, then maybe not. But
A bit like that?
yeah, perfectly played by Liam Dunster. And he moves 3 frames ahead. He leads Clint Anson by 7 frames to 4 in the European Professional Semi-Final. So it looks like Liam will be our second finalist, joining Simon Ward. But it's not over yet. Clint needs to win the final 4. We are also into a decider on the outer tables. The ladies' semi-final between the Welsh pair of Beck Sweeney and Lauren Williams has gone to 5 apiece. And awaiting them in the final is the number 1 seed and the overwhelming favourite, if we're honest, Emma Cunningham. She'll be looking to add another title to her ever-growing list of IPA honours. Liam then finding the exact same spot with the cue ball for every break. He'd love it if it had the exact same result every time, but unfortunately the break doesn't quite work like that. And I think he had a pretty heavy bounce out in the top middle on that view. It looked like the red was flying into the pocket, but it seemed to stay on the table somehow.
Where would you be starting off here then, Dan?
I'm looking at reds. I don't think he's got an option on yellows. I think he might be able to squeeze the red that's sort of furthest up the table between the 2 reds to the right of it into the middle. Or he's going to start us off with a plant. That's quite a long way away. But it is beautifully executed by Clint Anson as he looks to stay in this match. It was a dry break from Liam Dunster, so it is an opportunity for Clint to pile the pressure on the Scot. The obvious issue I can see with this clearance at the moment is the black. All the reds have a pocket, I think. The red that's closest to the black, I'm not sure if that passes to the corner.
It's looking a little bit tight, I think.
Yeah, might just have half a pocket. But either way, I don't think the black will pass anywhere, so on the basis that he's probably going to have to move the black, he might as well move the red as well if it is that tight. And it looks to me like he's going to try and do that now. That's a great shot. He's opened things right up there as Clint Anson. Opened up a pocket for both that tricky red and the black. Black will now go, as we can see clearly there from the camera, to the bottom right pocket. So Clint now needs to make sure he leaves a nice angle on his last red to pop the cue ball over to the left-hand side of the table for the black. Wants to be just off straight, I'd have said, and I just said that's pretty much spot on. So a fairly simple stun shot across to the side rail. There we go, perfect position on the black. Clint Anson reduces the deficit to 2. And Liam Dunster already sitting in his chair as Clint racks up to break. So the next time Liam comes to the table to break, it could be 7-6 with a good break here from Clint. If that were to happen, would you fancy Clint to complete the comeback, or?
I would actually, yeah. I fancy him for it, to be honest.
It's going to be a great thing to find out either way. Clint now needs a break. Like you say, if he can get a good break here, he can really pile the pressure on Liam. Wow. Yeah, he's hit those well. And he's made a ball that he's got, well, you can see there, that cluster of reds at the top right and the cluster of yellows, rather, at the top left. I don't see an easy clearance on either colour here, but what do you fancy?
I'm just glad I'm watching, to be honest. I wouldn't like to be in this situation.
I think if it was me, I think I'd just favour reds. I think the red that's just above the centre of the table, you could cut that in the middle and you can run into that cluster of reds and yellows just above. And if that comes out nicely, then I'd back him to finish them off, because the 2 reds on the opposite side of the table, on the right-hand side, he's got a ball over that pocket, so he can nudge them out as well. I think I'd be looking at reds. He may have found a different route. Oh, it's a beautiful, beautiful pot, and the cue ball has just about stayed out.
Wow.
Well, Clint's unhappy, and I can understand why, but to a certain extent, he should be thankful he's still at the table. He does have a shot on. He can play this yellow closest to the cue ball into the right middle pocket. And I think he's got an angle to come up for the one on the rail, so all might not be lost here for Clint, but it is going to take a very good shot.
He's looking at cutting this one back here.
Off the cushion first, off the red.
Yeah.
What a shot. Oh, how's it not? Where's the black? Oh, no.
No way.
Oh, what a way to lose a game for Clint Anson. What a way to lose. Oh, I'm gutted for him. That was such a shame. The thing is, if you're playing a shot that thin, there's always the chance that you're going to lose the cue ball, and you don't know where it's going, and you don't know what it's going to hit. But you have to say that's unlucky. Nevertheless, we have our finalists, and it will be Scotland's Liam Dunster versus the Welshman Simon Ward. Have you got any predictions for this one, Sam?
To be fair, I've watched a few of Simon's matches. I'm quite liking the look of him this weekend. He's looking rather strong. To be fair, I would put him as my favourite. What would you think?
I think that's probably fair, actually. I've seen Liam on the stream today, and I've seen Simon on the stream today, and I have to say, I think Simon was the stronger of the two on the evidence that I saw. But, I mean, you wouldn't give any better odds than evens either way, really, would you?
No, definitely not. You can never rule Dunster out.
No, you can never rule anyone out at this level. So, just a horrible way to lose to Clint Anson. His weekend is over, but it does mean that Liam Dunster advances through to the final of this IPA European Professional event. You can see there is still some activity in the background. Well, I say that, we did have the ladies semi-final going on, but it turns out that it is Lauren Williams who will be taking on Emma Cunningham for the European ladies final. So it's a Welsh v Northern Irish battle, but it's actually an inter-household battle. Emma and Lauren are partners, they live together. So I'm guessing one of them will be made to do the household chores after this match. I think it's probably fair to say that Emma's the favourite, but having watched both of them play, I think they're both very capable. Our referee for the weekend, Scott McMillan there, cleaning the table, getting it ship-shape and Bristol fashion for this European professional final. Liam Dunster against Simon Ward. Liam Dunster will be on your left. Simon Ward will be on your right. So you've probably got just a few seconds if you want to make a brew. Or, whichever your drink of choice is. Either way, I would be ready to settle in on this Sunday night and watch this match, because it's going to be a cracker. Well, the players are ready. We're ready in the commentary box, and I hope you're ready sitting at home. What a match this promises to be. Liam Dunster versus Simon Ward. And the players are just about to lag off. See our press officer there, the IPA press officer, Sean Travass. He will be taking the photos of the players as he wanders in front of the camera. And there it is, the European Professional Trophy in all its glory. One of these two players will be taking that home along with the top prize. Liam there, cold-eyed, focused and ready. He's a very intimidating character when you come across him on the table. Doesn't give a lot away at all, doesn't show very much emotion. Simon Ward a little bit more affable, but broadly similar actually. Neither of these two often show too much emotion. Liam with his trademark glove, something that very few players can get away with, but Liam is one of them. Our press officer just spoiling the view for a moment there. And the players will take a photo before the match, and then we will finally be underway in this final. So which one of these two will join Lee Clough and Tom Cousins on the winners' podium this weekend? That is a very, very close lag, but it looks very much like Liam Dunster to me. He will be getting us underway in this final. It is, as with the rest of the competition, a race to 8. Dunster gets us underway in this final then, and he has made a ball off the break, and he's had a beautiful split. I would put quite, I was going to say I put quite a large chunk of money on him taking yellows. I still think he will, but I might back out of that particular bet. He does have one problem, yellow. The yellow closest to the bottom left pocket does not pass that red. Certainly doesn't look like it. He may just have half a pocket to squeeze it into if he has to. And if he does, then you'd have to say it's an easy clearance, to be honest. The fact that Liam hasn't chosen that moment to move that awkward looking yellow suggests to me that it will pass, and if it does, then I would imagine it's about to go 1-0 to the Scotsman. Liam then making short work of these yellows. Not too short. He's not the sort of player who will rush a shot. He's very methodical, very measured, and you can't blame him because he doesn't miss very much. Not perfect position here. Doesn't really want to be queuing over that ball, but nevertheless makes light work of it. Well, has Liam Dunster just made an awful, awful mistake? That looks very, very tight as to whether he can see that black or not. I think he can see part of it. I just wonder if he can see the potting angle. That's mightily close. That's a trace of left-hand side. And he sinks it. What were we worried about? Absolutely no problems at all for Liam Dunster, and he takes the first frame in this IPA European Professional Final. Simon Ward will break next up. Hasn't been to the table yet, so couldn't have done anything about that 1-0 lead. But as we saw in his previous match, his break was working very, very well against Jordan Shepherd. And it was on this table as well, so in theory, he knows how to break on it.
Second frame. Water break.
Liam, of course, had a wonderful split in the first frame. Can Simon respond? Well, he certainly responded with a hard-hitting break. And he has made a yellow. But there's more problems here, I would say, than there were for Liam. The black in particular is tied up right on that red. Don't think that goes anywhere, so that's definitely going to need manoeuvring. And the yellow's probably easier than the reds, purely because of that little cluster in the bottom left of the table. But there are problems with that as well. Simon went for the breakout immediately, the expansive attacking shot. Hasn't necessarily worked out for him. If anything, he's made his life a little bit harder now. He's done quite well to recover the situation to a certain extent, but all four of his balls are very, very close to the rails now. And he's going to have to start off with a difficult plant. I'm not sure where the position comes from either. Not only is it difficult, he's queuing over a ball, and I think he's pushing the yellow, or pushing the cue ball away from where he'd like to be with the yellow. Simon Ward's going to have to come up with something special if he's going to finish these off from this position. And he went for a very, very tough double, and it hasn't worked out for him. So all of a sudden, Liam comes to the table, a frame to the good, and with an excellent chance in the second as well. He's got the same problem as Simon with the black, but I think the red, he can probably, if he can get behind it on the right-hand side, he can take that to the left-hand middle. So this is a decent chance, and he might not even have to move anything. Of course, just because you don't have to move anything doesn't mean you shouldn't. You'd expect Liam to make light work of these reds, but still got a couple of small issues. The red's on the right-hand side of the table. Of course, the middle one is right over the centre pocket, so no problem there. But the one below doesn't go to the bottom right, and the one above is tightish on the rail, so just a fraction trickier than he'd like. He's landed nicely on that one now, though. Nice shot there from Liam. He manoeuvres that red into a much nicer position and leaves himself a simple couple of balls to finish off. I'm delighted to have been joined once again in the commentary box by Sam Grisdale for this final. Good evening again, Sam.
Hello again.
I'm glad you had a nice little break.
That was lovely, thanks.
You're welcome. So you fancied Simon, but your personal choice has gone 2 frames down. Do you back him to make up the difference?
I still stand by my choice. 100%.
Fair enough. Can't blame you at all. Simon Ward certainly has had a very good day and a very good weekend, in fact. Nevertheless, it is Liam Dunster who looks like he's going to take a 2-0 lead in this race to 8. And he does so, but it is very much early days in this final. Either way, it's 2-0 to Liam, and it's Liam to break. And he will be the happier of the 2 men so far.
Liam Dunster to break, leading 2 frames to 0. Time run.
Liam Dunster then taking his time over the break, making sure everything's perfect. Definitely a hallmark of his play. Not the best of breaks though, and it is first opportunity to Simon in this third frame. He needs to break the serve of Liam here. He'll want to stop him getting 3 frames ahead. I don't know about you, Sam, but I often feel that 2 frames is okay, but I feel like 3 is just that step further. I always feel like you're always a break dish and a reverse dish away, but if you get 3 frames, then you're in a little bit more trouble.
Yeah, I think you always feel more comfortable with that extra 1 on board. It's always welcome. The more the merrier.
Well, yeah, if you're the person who's winning, then definitely, I quite agree.
Well, yeah, I don't want to be sitting there watching someone else rack up their frames.
Do you feel like there's a particular point, though, where you feel perhaps it's too far behind, or are you always willing to put the hard yards in and work your way back into the match?
No, I like to be the underdog in a match. I often am anyway, but yeah, I like to leave it to the last frame and then think, do you know what, I best start playing now.
Yeah, something that you've definitely got form for. Haven't earned the nickname of Simon Ward yet, the Boomerang. He may well need that nickname in this match. Hopefully he'll live up to it. Either way, I'm sure we're in for a cracker. But yeah, I've seen you pull out many a comeback in your time.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of had to. I wish I hadn't left it so late, but there you go. It happens, unfortunately.
Simon then has worked his way around this table with relative ease. He's just got the 2 yellows left. The one next to the black, as long as he gets nicely onto it. And that looks pretty much dead straight, so I imagine he'll just roll this through and play the black to the middle, or screw it back like that. Perfect.
Beautiful.
Either way, doesn't really matter, does it? He had a choice of 2 and he chose the right one.
Same result.
Simon Ward then gets off the mark in the European Professional Final. And it will be Simon to break next, so Liam Dunster could find himself back at parity without having done anything wrong at all, and pretty much without having done anything at all.
Fourth frame, Simon Ward to break, trailing 2 frames to 1. Time run.
Wardy then choosing the front ball break, but from the side, and you have to say, well, that looks to be working quite well. That's a big, big split. But there is an issue. I think he'd probably like to take yellows if it weren't for that one at the top right.
Yeah, I'd probably have to agree with that. Just that one tricky ball, really, isn't it?
Simon does indeed choose to go with the yellow balls, so he's going to have to work something out with that one. He's got the ball just above the cue ball right now, which, assuming he can get the right angle, is in quite a nice position to break that yellow out. Other than that, can't see any real problems, so it's all on that shot. Well, this is a thin snick, isn't it? It's going to be a very, very thin cut if he goes that way.
So that was a bit extremely thin, that. Probably made...
Well, it's going to be thinner now. I don't think that goes anymore, if it did before. Simon Ward's in a bit of trouble now, because he's stuck himself behind the black to see the other possible yellows as well.
Can you see that yellow down near the red, down the bottom end of the table? Or do you reckon that black is just slightly covering it? I think he might be alright, you know.
I think he might be able to see a very edge of that, but I'm not convinced he can see the potting angle. Much easier if you're behind the shot, though. Not necessarily quite as clear from the overhead. I think this might be a containing safety.
Oh.
Yeah. Not sure he wanted the double kiss there. I did briefly think he might have been playing for it, but that would have been perhaps a risk too far, even for Simon Ward.
To be fair, looking at it, I don't think it's actually that bad a result.
No, perhaps not, although I think Liam might be able to play the plant at the top right, and if he can drift that in slowly enough, I think it'll open up for him. It's tight on that yellow, I'll admit, and he's hampered queuing, so he's got to be careful not to hit the yellow first here. He's played an excellent safety shot, you have to say. But Simon will come to the table with balls to go at, and he's still only got that one problem ball, and he's still got a ball in a nice position to break it out, so perhaps not the greatest shot from Liam after all. Simon Ward then still with a chance in this frame. He's at the table, but he's definitely going to have to take a tricky shot on at some point, and it looks like he may have to leave breaking out that yellow till last. He could try it now. Would you be tempted to have a go at this now, Sam? Or would you try and get the perfect angle on your last yellow? No, he is going to take it on now. Well, that is a great pot, and it's a great shot. That's worked out perfectly.
Well, that's just come out beautiful.
I don't think Simon could have asked for much more than that. So, slightly misjudged safety shot from Liam in this fourth frame. Simon Ward restores parity. It's Liam Dunster 2, Simon Ward 2. Just to bring you a quick update on the ladies' final. Unfortunately, due to time constraints, we weren't able to bring you that as well this weekend. But currently, it is one apiece between Emma Cunningham and Lauren Williams. As we mentioned, the two of them are partners, so That one is definitely for the bragging rights in the house. Scott McMillan, fastidious as always in checking the rack, making sure all the balls are touching. Of course, he always does, but the added pressure of knowing that Liam will definitely be checking it just as, if not more carefully than Scott does. You can see there Liam happy with Scott's work.
Fifth frame.
It will be him to break in this fifth frame.
Frames up. Timer.
Well, he certainly hit them well, but has he made a ball? No is the answer, and those balls are spread all across the table.
Wow.
Yeah, absolutely. So, do you see an opening there that you'd fancy taking on, Sam?
I think you could happily go either colour here.
I hope that fence is comfortable.
It is, to be honest. I've been here a while.
No, I think you're right. I think it was very much a toss-up, but Simon Ward has gone for reds, possibly that yellow at the top end of the table possibly doesn't pass the red that's right next to it, so I would imagine if that were the case, that would be an influence in his decision. I suspect Simon will make short work of these. They are quite nicely spread. The black does pass to the bottom left, so no problems there either. Just a case of keeping that cue ball under good control. Simon here just taking his time, knows this is a pressure situation. Every frame vital at this stage. When you get to the final, you can't afford any slip-ups at all. And he's worked out that red will pass to the centre, and that makes his life just that fraction easier. Simon Ward takes a 3-frame-to-2 lead. He's come back from 2-0 down. There's 3 frames on the spin for Simon. And he has the break as well. Now for me, that frame, or that clearance then, was one of those where it was just all about picking the right pattern, the right order. He sort of never looked in any sort of trouble at all. But do you think that was just because he took the balls in the right order, or do you think there was a bit more to it?
No, I think like you say, I think if you find the right pattern from the start, I think you're laughing, to be honest. It's just maintaining that white, really, isn't it?
Yeah, I was in the commentary box a couple of events ago with Brian Halcrow, one of the elder statesmen of the game, and he was telling me how he likes to go about his patterns. He likes to make sure he's always got straight shots. Sort of little screws, stuns, tops. Doesn't like to throw the cue ball around the angles too much, if he can help it. And I think that's pretty much good advice for most players. There are some more expressive players that can get away with pushing the cue ball around off 5-6 cushions every now and then.
Yeah, that's it. I think he's got the right idea.
Well, Simon Ward has made a ball off that break. I was going to say he looked like he's in a bit of trouble, but he has found a pot. He's found a red. So work to do with this one. Those two reds either side of the black looking a little bit tricky. And because of that, he's decided to play Liam Dunster very much at his own game. He's gone tactical. Would you want to take Liam on in a tactical battle?
No, not at all. And to be honest, I wouldn't like to take anyone on in a tactical battle. But
no, fair enough. Not necessarily your style.
Definitely not Liam, though.
No, he is one of the finest players in the game, particularly at that type of frame. He is a master tactician. But you have to say it's a cleverish shot from Simon, because if Liam were to go for the finish, he'd definitely need that pocket. But Liam's gone right back at him, and actually that's a terrific shot. That's going to force Simon into taking that red that he's just covered the pocket with. And that's going to leave him one fewer options in getting those two difficult balls in the centre out. So
See the return visit here, just trying to tap onto that red.
yeah, I'm not sure if the ball's frozen on the cushion, but if it's not, and even if it is, that's not a bad shout actually.
I don't think it is.
Doesn't want to pot it, and he hasn't. Good shot, Simon Ward, well controlled. Back in a very similar situation, but Simon just about in the driving seat in this frame at the moment. What a shot that is by Liam Dunster, though. He's taken the ball by the horns and he's pulled out a cracking pot. Now, he's still got that red covering the pocket. How do you fancy clearing that? Because I can't see really that he's got a pot on, except for perhaps a skill shot.
I think at this stage, I think you're going to have to just take the skill shot from here.
Yeah, these are never easy, but he's queuing over a ball and it's on an angle as well, so this will be a good shot. And it is a good shot. Terrific shot by Liam Dunster.
That's a great shot. That was very awkward.
Yeah, it certainly was. And now, Liam Dunster's just made himself favourite for this sixth frame.
Still a bit of work to do here, I think.
Where do you see the problems?
I don't know why. It might just be how I play my game, but just the two up the top of the table. I just feel it's the position. All it takes is a stray white, and you're in a bit of trouble.
Looks to me like he's leaving the yellow closest to the cue ball for last, so he can run that up one up the rail and land on the black. He can pop that in the bottom left centre, bottom left centre. Stop talking. The bottom left corner.
I love a bottom left centre. It's great.
Needs to run a little bit, I think. I don't think that's particularly nice at all.
It's exactly what I was talking about.
Yeah, I can see it. He's still got a shot here, Liam. He can still play this cushion first. I don't think he can get through to the potting angle. He might be able to swerve it as well. So either way, I think he'll probably be all right, because I think he's almost certain to cover the pocket, and that's a pocket that Simon Ward needs very much. So it would force Simon into taking something on that was a little bit risky. Looks cushion first to me. And it has dropped in. That's a nice recovery from Liam Dunster. He's probably a fraction straighter on this yellow than he would have liked, though. I think he might struggle to get close to that last yellow, so that's going to be a difficult shot. No, he had a lot more angle than I thought. That's an excellent shot. So, perfect position, in fact, for Liam Dunster. It looks like he's going to square this match up at 3 frames each. We have it. Liam Dunster ties up the match. It's 3 frames all in this race to 8. Still a lot of pool to be played, but it's essentially a race to 5 now. A very, very good clearance from Liam there. From a situation where it looked like he might have been in a bit of trouble against Simon, pulled out a couple of excellent shots, and he really showed his class with that clearance. You can see there in the background the ladies' final, just on the extreme left of the screen. And the score currently is Emma Cunningham 3, Lauren Williams 1. So
3 frames off.
that one's going to form at the moment, but Lauren's capable of turning that around, and that is a race to 7. Another monstrous hit from the gloved hand of Liam Dunster. But another dry break. So Simon Ward with an opportunity to re-establish his lead here. seems to be looking at the reds. Would that be your choice?
Yeah, 100%. I just... Oh, wow.
I can't believe that. What a... Well, it's a bad miss from Simon, and hands Liam the initiative. Liam's dry break doesn't look like it's going to cost him in this frame. He's going to get first chance at choosing the colour. The only awkward area of the table to me looks like that top left corner, but I think you might be able to open it up here.
Yeah, straight away. First shot.
Yeah, first shot sort of almost hitting in between those two reds. But no, doesn't fancy it. That's a nice shot from Liam. That opens up that tricky little area for him and leaves what looks to be very much a routine finish.
Oh.
Well, how has Liam Dunster managed that? He clearly feels like it was a bad contact. The cue ball is being cleaned for him. What did you make of that one, Sam?
100%. He may have had a bit of a dodgy contact there. It's a bit hard to tell from here, in all honesty. Either way, it's a little bit difficult now.
Yeah, definitely going to go down as a mistake. Either way. Of course, it's not necessarily the easiest ball to get out of and the easiest snooker to get out of and pot, but it just depends where that next red goes. If he can flick it in the middle, then maybe. But he has missed the ball completely. That is an error by Liam. You would expect him to get out of that. It was only a one cushion escape. Wasn't the most difficult at all. So a big chance for Simon Ward and a reprieve from that miss in the first shot of the frame. Now Simon choosing to get rid of the ball out of the pocket there. There's a lot of traffic on the table if he's Liam. Do you think he'll go for the finish here? Do you think he'll play safe? He's got a massive area to leave the cue ball in if he were to play safe.
I think probably take the one there on the left-hand side, the one he's looking at, and probably just the one off the top rail, and just leave the white safe, hang the yellow over the pocket. Or do it that way.
Well, I think he went that way for a reason. I think that reason was if he did miss it, he was going to leave Liam snookered, which is I think why he probably played it at that pace as well.
Yeah, I just don't feel he wanted to snooker him at that point.
No, I agree.
Yeah,
with
there
you.
was always that safety option if he did miss.
Yeah, it was sort of a shot to nothing, really. Simon then putting Liam in a spot of bother, whether intentionally or not. I feel like the clearance was probably there for Simon. That red's not really causing many problems. It's not covering any balls except for the one just above it, but that will comfortably go to the right middle. So a chance for Liam maybe to have a hit and hope, try and make something happen. And he certainly has made something happen. Liam Dunster, that is naughty. I don't think it's exactly how he played it, but that's the thing. If you let your opponent back to the table, you've only got yourself to blame.
Yeah.
Simon should never have missed that
100%.
shot.
That was majestic. That was just
majestic indeed. And Simon may consider himself a little unfortunate, but like I said, I really don't think he should have let Liam back to the table at all from there. And Liam has capitalised on that error from Simon. And he retakes the lead for the first time since he was 2 frames ahead. It's now 4-3 to Liam Dunster. In the ladies' final, Lauren Williams has pulled a frame back. She now trails Emma Cunningham by just the 1 frame. It's 3-2 to Emma. Despite their personal allegiances, I'm sure they will both be wanting to get their hands on that trophy. Perhaps extra incentive for Lauren. She's never won an IPA title, whereas Emma has quite a few in the bag. But I'm sure that won't be any detraction to Emma at all. She'll still be fighting as hard as ever. Simon there not necessarily getting hold of the break quite as well as he has most of the day. And it's left an open table for Liam Dunster to come to. It's a couple of little tricky areas here. There's the red right next to the black, which is certainly making red quite an unattractive proposition. But the red and the yellow in the bottom left corner of the table also not really helping either colour out. So if this is to be a reverse dish, there's work to do for Liam. Choosing yellows and breaking out the worst of those balls immediately. And this is beginning to look like a nice chance now. I think the black will pass to the bottom left corner once those yellows are removed. In fact, it might even do now. So every yellow has a pocket. Liam is one of the most clinical players in the game. Can he continue that here? Would you say he's underdone that one a fraction, Sam?
Yeah, just a fraction. I thought he could have done with a little bit more on that one. It's not the end of the world.
No, it just leaves him a thinner snick up the rail should he decide to go that way. He's having a look at whether he can get through to the yellow that's just past the black there. Looks mightily tight to me.
I think that flies.
Certainly does. Trying to get himself in position for that yellow up the rail once again. Still not ideal though. That's actually really horrible where he's landed. The cue ball's not too hampered, but those 2 reds next to the cue ball are sort of really where you want to put your hand. You can see him there bridging over. Tough shot. And he's rattled it. That was always the danger. So a reprieve for Simon Ward. Now, do you think he's looking at the skill shot? It's a little bit tougher than it would be if that yellow were in the centre of the pocket, but you can definitely make those.
Yeah, you can still make them, but like you say, I think it's a bit more difficult with the yellow being sort of just on that jaw there.
I just wonder if he can perhaps take it on and then play safe, put the cue ball back down the other end of the table. No, doesn't want to take it on now if he is going to, so this might be a safety shot.
So there's a bit of both there, I think.
I think he's trying to get that cue ball near enough where he's got it. I don't think he's left anything for Liam. There might be a gap between all the reds to get through to that yellow over the pocket. That is mighty close. So close, in fact, that Scott Millen, our referee, needs to get his second ball out of his pocket.
He's done that quite a few times over this weekend, hasn't he?
Great shot by Liam as he knocked those two yellows safe. He's certainly on the top one of the two, and we can see from the camera angle there that no, both those yellows look very much like they pass each other. So it's a good escape from Liam. He got out of a tricky situation and potted. He just needs one good shot to get the cue ball back into nice position, but can't see any real problems from here. Is he hard enough? Just about.
Wow. Someone must have left the door open. Slight gust of wind.
Now, if you're Liam in this situation, are you just pushing this through to leave the yellow long? Because I don't think he's got the angle to get back out.
Yeah. Let me just push it through. Try and leave it for the middle pocket there. So you can sort of use that red there to stop the white in its tracks.
Yeah, of course it doesn't go past the reds to the top left, so yeah, like you say, in the middle it will be. Yeah, he wants a nice contact on that red. He doesn't want to clip off it and slide by. He could end up snookering himself, so got to be careful here. If he decides to play the cue ball off the cushion first and into the red, then he's going to be digging down at it a little bit. If he feels he can play straight into it, then he will. Oh, it is the dig down, and he did nearly slide past it and snooker himself, but he's just about okay. He's fractions away from disaster.
Something that he still doesn't look too happy with that.
I'm not sure he's the sort of player who ever looks happy with anything.
That's
to be brutally
very
honest.
true.
Absolutely flies in the pocket. He's going to be beaming like a Cheshire cat.
I don't know what he was worried about.
Absolutely. Nevertheless, he does take a 5-frame-to-3 lead and opens up a 2-frame lead over Simon Ward for the first time since he was 2-0 up. Of course, there is a big difference even between 2-0 and 5-3. It might be the same scoreline, but it's so much closer to the end of the match. Liam now only needs 3 for the win. In the ladies' final, you can see Emma Cunningham there in your shot to the right. She is currently 4-2 up on Lauren Williams, and she looks like she's going about her business very nicely indeed. Liam once again checking the rack, but once again happy with referee Scott McMillan's work. Now he's moved the cue ball over here. He was a lot closer to the centre of the table before, so it looks like he's going for the cut break for me. So a change of break for Liam. Has it worked? No, it hasn't. In fact, it's opened up a great chance for Simon.
That's a massive break as well.
Yeah, it really is. He's struck those really, really nicely. I guess the problem here for Simon, I'd imagine he's going to take reds. He can't really. He's got one yellow to go out, and it's awful. But he does have that yellow, sort of just to the left of the centre, at the top end of the table. That won't go to the top left pocket, and I'm not convinced it'll go to the top right either. So he may have to move that. I wonder if he can play in behind it now and play into the middle. I'm not sure which he's gone for. If it does pass, then it's not too much of a problem.
I think he's just come a little bit further than what he would have liked there. He's still got a shot on, obviously.
Doesn't look happy. He looked like a bloke in a migraine commercial just then for a second, the way he was holding his forehead. And yeah, I'm not convinced that went, oh, look at that cue ball. Simon Ward, you lucky boy.
And personally, I would have gone for the pot, but the safety's just as good.
That's absolutely outrageous, and I'm sure he will have held his hands up. He looks annoyed, but let's be fair, he should be delighted. Yeah, that's absolutely outrageous, Liam. I can't see what Liam's going to do here at all.
I think whatever migraine Simon may have had has now been passed over.
Yeah, quite possibly. Liam has certainly got some head scratching to do, either way. Oh, what's he going to attempt? Off the cushion and pop the yellow nearest the corner pocket? He's gone for it. What a shot.
It's a great shot.
Really is a very, very good shot from Liam Dunster. So the saving grace for Simon then is that the ball he missed has covered that top right pocket. And you'd have to say it looks like Liam's going to need that. So he's going to have to do something, either a skill shot or move the yellow to the extreme right of the table.
Oh.
Not left himself a huge amount there. I don't know if the yellow that's sort of on the black spot-ish will pass to the bottom left. That's very tight. If it does, he's only got half a pocket to aim at.
You could hang it over the pocket. And, well, that just hampers 3 of Simon's reds there.
Oh, you see, look, you've watched 6 or 7 frames of this match, and now you're even thinking like Liam
I
Dunster.
know. If only I could do this in matches.
If only any of us could do what he did in matches. Regardless of what you think of Liam Dunster's style, I bet everyone would want to play and win the way he does. That's an excellent pot. Gets him back into a decent position. And that yellow rather, that we were talking about just then, does it go to the bottom left? Well, if he plays this yellow up into the bottom right, it may not need to, because he's got a lovely angle to get position on it now. That's a big miss from Liam, though. He looked like there was something distracting him a few seconds ago. We're not quite sure what that was, but either way, whether it's caused him to miss or not, he has. And he hands a chance to Simon Ward. Simon looking to stop himself going 3 frames behind. He wants to keep in touch with Liam. We're getting close to the business end of this match now. These reds then look fairly much of a formality for Simon Ward. You see any problems at all?
In short, no, not really.
Just needs to keep the cue ball tightly on that bit of string, keep it economical, keep it working around the table nicely for him. And we should be back to just 1 frame in it. It's been a high quality final. A couple of misses from both players, but neither's done too much wrong so far. I'd say Simon's overhit that by a good 5 or 6 inches, but he's still got an option. Might just have to reroute a fraction. Simon choosing to go up and down the table, and I'm really surprised he did that. He's made he's made a massive meal of that, to be honest, and he's put himself in quite a lot of trouble. Well, you are one of the better players I've seen at taking on the outrageous, Sam. I don't think there's any safety option here, so what can your brain conjure up?
I'm sort of looking to see if it doubles, and sounds outrageous, but you just bring the white off 3 cushions and come back round. Do you know what I mean? It's
Well, if it did double, Simon didn't get it right. And not only that, he's been punished doubly for his positional mistake with the dreaded in-off as well. So it looks a lot like Liam Dunster's going to take a 3-frame lead, get himself 2 frames away from the European professional title of 2019. That's a classic Liam Dunster shot, isn't it? Just the balls are all there, but I'll cover a pocket anyway, just in case. But to be fair, can't argue with that.
why not? Treat yourself.
And then just lining up the plant. I would imagine he'll want to leave the yellow he's going to hit first out of the way of the other yellow. He won't want to play 2 plants in a row. I think he's overhit it a fraction. I'm not sure he can actually get through to pot that now.
I think maybe you play this one on the nearest the bottom cushion first.
Oh yeah.
Flick off the red, but it's definitely not come out how he's intended.
No, if he. So you think he'll play this sort of up the rail with right hand side, kick the cue ball back down into that red?
Oh, 100%, yeah.
I just wonder if he gets a bit too much on it and catches the wrong side of that red, he might be in trouble.
I've known to be wrong.
And that is exactly what I was talking about, and I think he's probably very lucky that he didn't pot that. I'm pretty sure he wasn't going for covering the bag.
No, not at all. But no, he's got a right result there.
Yeah, I'm not sure it's that much of a result, because I think Simon could probably pop this in the middle and screw back and leave the red for the bottom right corner.
When I say result, I mean...
Well, it's better than it could have been, yeah, I'll grant you. It could have been snookered.
He could have putted it. Hey, I'm sure he would have pulled something out.
Well, Simon pulled off a similar shot earlier. We will never find out. That is not the shot for Simon Ward. I think he must have cued across that, because he's definitely come off a long way wrong with that shot. And what do you find from here?
I was sort of looking at the cocked hat, but
well,
it's just a difficult shot all round, isn't it? No matter which way you play this.
I feel like it's probably a bit too close for a skill shot, so I think he might just try and get things moving here, but you never know. Oh, he has gone for the cocked hat. He's gone for the cocked hat and he's missed it by, well, not very much.
That's unlucky. That's a nice attempt as well.
It certainly was, but no matter how much you miss it by, a miss is a miss. And Liam Dunster, having made a hash of a pretty simple situation, has gotten away with it.
See why he left that one over the pocket now?
Exactly. It was a perfect safety shot, and we should never ever criticise him again.
That's exactly it. Never in doubt.
A missed opportunity then for Simon Ward, and he falls 3 frames behind to Scotland's Liam Dunster. I'm sure he will be regretting a couple of the shots he's made in this match, and it must seem like a very long time ago that Simon was 3-2 to the good. Now, Liam just 2 frames away. We quite often say that when a player's 2 frames away, you feel still okay if you're chasing the game. When they get 1 away, then you're in real trouble. How do you feel about that sort of attitude, Sam?
Well, yeah. Well, thanks for that. It's a difficult one. Obviously, 1 frame, 2 frames. You never want to be behind, but I think we saw it earlier in the last final we had with Scott. He only needed 1 more frame, and
Scott Gillespie, of course, if you missed it, was the subject of one of the greatest comebacks you will ever see. But to be honest, Scott will know he had his chances in that match. Scott was 6-1 up against Tom Cousins in the European Amateur Final earlier on today, and he ended up losing 7-6. So not the best end to the weekend for the Scottish player. So can Liam Dunster do what his countryman couldn't and get over the line? Of course, Liam is also playing Simon Ward, who, as we've mentioned, is very much well known for his comebacks. Nicknamed the Boomerang, he has a tendency to come back from positions that people really don't think he's going to come back from. Talking of comebacks, in the ladies' final, Lauren Williams is going to need one. She is 6-2 down to the favourite Emma Cunningham now. And Lauren needs a minor miracle, not unlike Tom Cousins earlier. Simon Ward then needing to get himself back into this game sharpish. Makes a ball from the break. Goes for a pretty rash breakout shot, you have to say. But it's worked out for him. He's made that red. And he's got a chance here. There is an obvious problem ball. The red to the right-hand side of the table, closest to the bottom cushion. Doesn't appear to have a pocket for me. Any ideas how you'd be thinking of breaking that ball out? Or would you be thinking of breaking that ball out? Have you got a different plan in mind?
It's a bit of an awkward one, isn't it? I'd probably take half hour just to figure this one shot out.
I've never seen you take 30 seconds over a shot, let alone half an hour.
That's very true.
Nevertheless, Simon couldn't work it out and he's missed. So, another opportunity for Liam. And actually, looks a pretty good one to me. All of the yellows have a nice pocket to go into. And the way he's been playing, I expect those pockets to gobble those balls up. No real problems for Liam, once again. Playing well. Just the one problem then for Liam. Not much of a problem. The black is tight on the, or tight-ish, on the left-hand side rail. But the position of that yellow allows him to get right in behind it, making this shot much, much easier. We have seen a couple of these missed so far this weekend, though. And Liam will be steeling himself ready for this shot. No problems at all, and Liam Dunster moves one frame away from victory in the IPA European Professional Final. Simon Ward now needs all 4 of the potential remaining frames if he is to claim that trophy. We've said it a lot, Simon Ward is the boomerang. He can stage comebacks. He's well known for it. And he's going to have to live up to that name if he's going to take this title back to Wales.
11th frame, Liam Dunster to break, leading 7 frames to 3. Timer.
Liam again going for the cut break. He just about keeps the cue ball out of that bottom left pocket. And he has made a ball. The change of break has belatedly worked.
Was very fortunate there.
Yeah, that cue ball rattled in the jaws, but fortunately for Liam, got spat back out into the table. Now, what do you fancy here, Sam? Yeah, no easy starter though, so is Liam Dunster going to play a 3-ball plant to start us off? How very un-Liam Dunsterish.
Well, maybe he wants to go out in style. Something a little bit unusual.
To be fair, other than the yellow that he's closest to, I think that's his only option anyway, so I'm sure he's capable of the spectacular, but perhaps only when he's forced into it.
Oh. Well.
And he was forced into it, and it has forced the mistake from Liam. So a chance for Simon Ward to get himself back into the match. He'd still be 3 frames behind, but he is breaking next. And as we know, these games can turn around so fast. Only takes 1 or 2 mistakes and you can find yourself 3 or 4 frames down. Simon naturally choosing the reds. They are, of course, still the better colour. And it looks like Liam has left a ready-made plant into the centre pocket. And I think that will open that cluster up quite nicely if you play that at the right weight. Just all about the pace of this. He doesn't want to push that red that he's going to be hitting onto the side rail. He wants to leave that for the middle pocket. And that's why he's decided to play the other red, and that has not dropped. I can't believe that hasn't dropped. From the overhead view, it looks like more than half that ball's in the pocket. I think Simon Ward's just broken gravity there. And I guess the other unfortunate thing from Simon's perspective is that he's opened up the yellows with that shot as well. There is the yellow closest to the right centre that's a little bit tricky to get on and a little bit tricky to pot up the rail. But it's certainly not the end of the world. Where's that cue ball going to end up? Oh, Liam, what have you done? Has he snookered himself, or can he?
I think you can see that one on the bottom rail there.
Yeah, possibly. We've got both camera angles available to us in the commentary box, and from the angle you're seeing at the moment, or the angle that you were just seeing, it does look like he can get through to that, but from the overhead it looks much, much closer. There you can see. Can he get through to the potting angle? That's the big question. Clearly he can hit it. Oh, not sure he could. It was very, very tight. And now another chance for Simon Ward. And he can't afford to let this one slip, surely. looks to me like he's left this, and he's going to have to play it with a little bit of pace, and I don't like playing this tight into the middle pocket with pace.
You don't need to when you play it like that.
Well, that's a beautiful shot. Loads and loads of running side to bring the cue ball round to be near enough perfectly straight on that red. Simon Ward pulls back a frame, gives himself a lifeline. Or, well, Liam Dunster was the one who gave him a lifeline, really, with that poor positional shot. There is 3 frames in it. Are you still backing Simon to make the comeback, Sam?
I can't change my mind now. I'm 100%.
You're invested.
I'm invested, definitely.
Deep into this one, yeah?
Yep.
Frame, Simon Ward to break, furling 7 frames to 4. Simon.
As Simon Ward breaks off now, I can bring you the latest score from the ladies' final. And it's not really a latest score anymore. It is a result. Emma Cunningham is your 2019 European Ladies Champion. She beat Lauren Williams 7-2 in the final. So congratulations to Emma, commiserations to Lauren. But either way, they will be taking both the runners-up and the winner's trophy home with them. So they've got to find some space on a shelf somewhere. I would imagine Emma's shelf is very much full. But Lauren can also add to her growing collection. Now that's a beautiful break from Simon Ward, and he's got a chance to put a little bit of pressure on the next Liam Dunster break. Dunster's not been breaking quite so well, so a quick fire break dish here from Simon could put the pressure on, because of course if Liam's break doesn't work and Simon were to run that out, we'd be back to just the 1 frame in it. Excellent cue ball control from Simon, just using that red as a blocker to hold perfect position for the white. Do you think he's just got to be a fraction careful about getting on the black here, making sure he doesn't snooker himself behind that red?
Yeah, definitely. Again, like I was saying earlier, it's so easy just to lose that white every now and again. Black's a little bit awkward. He's left himself a lovely angle, though, to be fair. It's hard to go wrong from here.
What are you doing? You're just stunning this and pushing the cue ball towards the side rail?
No, me, I'll be coming off 3 cushions. But, yeah, it's probably the best option.
Just like that. And he leaves himself pretty much a dead straight black. It's even a big pocket, so near enough. Unmissable this for Simon Ward. And closes the gap to 2. And perhaps Liam Dunster's cool, calm exterior may well belie a heart rate that is racing at the moment. I think he'll be worried about Simon. He'll know his reputation, and he'll want a good break here. He'll want to finish this right now.
13th frame, Liam Dunster the break, leading 7 frames to 5. Time running.
Liam sticks with the cut break. And that yellow's not going to drop. And that means it is a chance for Simon Ward.
Where would you be going here?
Oh, it's tough, isn't it? It's not a nice, not a particularly nice split for either colour. Sort of the reds have got control of the bottom left pocket, and the yellows have got control of the bottom right pocket. Can't really clear any of them with his first shot. I'd have to make yellows a slight favourite, but I'd rather not be in this situation at all. This is actually the sort of rack where, I mean, if I was playing a Simon Ward or a Liam Dunster, I'd always rather be at the table than them, but if I was playing another amateur, I'd probably rather let them have the first go at this sort of table.
Yeah, I know what you're saying with that. Let them make the option for you. Oh, okay.
Well, Simon hasn't made the option for anyone there. Simon's missed yet another pot in this match, and despite his ability to come back, he's still not really firing on all cylinders like we saw against Jordan Shepherd.
I like his thinking. Make Liam make the choice.
Yeah, well, I mean, it is technically what we were saying, but I'm not convinced it was going through his head.
Definitely wasn't planned, but force his hand.
Well, I feel like if he's going to force it anyway, he's definitely forced Liam into reds now. And that yellow over the bottom right corner suddenly becomes a much more... No, he's going to play the plant. He can just about get through to that one. Yeah, see, that's a great shot.
That's a good hit.
And now the yellows for me are a massive favourite, because even those two on the right hand side, if he wanted to, he could play those as a plant, because that is a massive pocket. And that bottom right corner. If he were to play that though, he wouldn't want to push the yellow, he'd be moving too far towards that red, so still not necessarily ideal. He's also got quite a big pocket for the yellow on the left-hand rail as well, so this is definitely looking like a potential match-winning chance for Liam Dunster. All that remains to be seen is if he can take it. And Liam has played that plant, and somehow he's managed to rattle it without hitting the other yellow at all. So Simon Ward gets another chance back at the table, but it's looking much more difficult. Now I think he might look at a safety here. If he can drop this one in over the top right, he could get Liam in all sorts of trouble in behind sort of those two balls on the right hand rail from that corner, from that angle rather, but he's not going to, he's going attacking. Simon Ward's saying to Liam, I'm going to take these out and I'm going to beat you. What do you think Simon's plan is here?
Put his remaining balls in the black.
Well, thanks for that explanation for people who haven't played pool before, Sam.
This is what I'm
Much
here
appreciated.
for. I think, obviously, the ones in red, nearest to two yellows in the bottom right-hand corner there.
He could potentially move that now if he plays this one to the left middle. That looks like quite a nice angle to me.
Be taking one in the top corner, or
He's seen that he had a nice angle for it and he's gone for it, and that is a great shot. Just the 4 reds and the black remain for Simon Ward to get back to within 1 frame of Liam Dunster. The boomerang is in full effect here.
lovely shot.
Excellent control from Simon Ward once again. Hasn't necessarily looked at his best in this match, but you don't have to play at your best every match, you just have to win them. Simon Ward then completes that finish and pulls himself back to just 1 frame behind, and it will be Simon to break. Vital moments for Liam Dunster. Now, Sam stuck with his prediction that Simon would win this frame and complete an epic comeback. Let's find out if he was right. Frame 14, Simon Ward to break. It will be his last break of the match either way. Can he make it a good one? Well, he's made a ball, and the cue ball's still on the table. So that's the first part of the jigsaw complete. And this to me looks like a very decent chance on reds. He can potentially get rid of that red over the middle pocket and put the yellow safe with his first shot. And from then on, I would imagine his only real slight problem would be the red on the right-hand rail. This red will squeeze past the black. And this looks like a more than presentable opportunity now for Simon. If he can hold his nerve here, he can force Liam to break in the decider. And as we know, Liam's break has not been his friend so far in this match. Oh, Simon, that needs to bounce. Oh, no. Well, I'm not sure if he was playing on the one up the rail. I guess he was, but that's a big miscalculation from him. He's not a happy man. But if he gets out of this snooker, Liam's not going to have a finish on, so Liam's going to have to work hard to make something happen, I suspect. Wardy needs a worldie here. Well, that's not bad. He certainly hasn't left anything easy for Liam Dunster. What do you see Liam doing here, Sam?
I don't know what Liam would do, but I'd be playing the double first, and then playing safe, using the 2 yellows up the top there.
Yeah.
Double this one on the left rail first, and then using the top yellow of the 2 up the top there, playing it safe. Or you could just do it that way. Look at that.
Well, Liam has tried to do it not quite in the way you suggested, but you were right about where he wanted the cue ball. However, he's overrun it, trying to land right on that red, and he's on that yellow rather, and he's slid right past it. So it's another opportunity for Simon, but not an easy one. This first positional shot looks very difficult to me. Not quite sure how he's going to get the cue ball onto another red.
Oh,
Well, it was
wow.
actually quite a good effort, and it was a tough shot. But Liam Dunster is definitely in pole position in this frame now, and he is at the table. I don't think he's necessarily got a particularly nice pot to start with.
I don't know why, but I feel a safety coming on.
Yeah, I'm not convinced, but I reckon you're probably right.
Yeah.
The thing is, even if he doesn't get the safety, Simon's balls are in just such a horrible position now. Those 2 on the side rail especially, they'll only really go as a plant, and that's a tough plant indeed.
Great pot.
It is a great pot, and your prediction of a safety was...
He can obviously
Well,
hear me and just wants to prove me wrong every time.
I don't know that it was necessarily wrong, but I think it might have been delayed. I think this might be the safety shot. I think he's just going to bump this yellow over the middle pocket and sit in behind it.
Yeah, this was the shot I was on about.
You're just a shot early, that's all.
Apologies for that.
And indeed, Simon Ward does find himself in a whole heap of trouble after that safety shot by Liam Dunster. So I think this really is hit and hope time, if I'm honest. I think Simon might just be trying to get things moving here. I can't see another way for him. Can he squeeze through the gap of those 2 yellows? Can he play this as a double? I'll tell you what, that was...
Wow.
That was some effort. I think he was trying to play all 3 balls in a plant there, off the cushion,
Off the yellow.
into the 2 reds, and off the yellow. Yeah, that was... well, that would have been probably the best shot I'd ever seen, had he pulled that off.
Yep, would have to agree with that one.
He didn't, though, and Liam has a chance to put this game to bed once and for all. Neither of those reds went in a position that has come to Simon's rescue. I did think one was going to cover that top left pocket for a little while, but unfortunately for him it hasn't. That's... I'll tell you what, I think he's got away with that. That was not a great shot by Liam. And I think he can just about get through to the furthest of those 2 yellows.
That is
I think
very
we could
tight.
just about see there from that camera angle that he couldn't get through to the second, to the middle one.
I think like you say, the one closer to the red there on the top cushion. I think you're right. Get past through there. Look at that.
Comfortable in the end. What was the problem? Perhaps a little bit of a let-off there for Liam, but perhaps one that he deserves. I think of the two players, Simon's probably had slightly more run of the ball. Nevertheless, it does look like Liam Dunster is going to be the European Professional Champion of 2019. Simon Ward gave it his best to come back from a big deficit, but in the end, I think he's just left it too late. This black for the professional title, and in it goes. Congratulations to Liam Dunster, commiserations to Simon Ward. Well, your prediction didn't quite come true, Sam.
No, definitely didn't. He had a couple of chances there. No, Liam prevailed. Fair play.
I think if we're being honest, I think that's a deserved win for Liam Dunster.
100%. 100%.
He was the better of the two players on the night. We've seen him earlier on the stream. He came through a very tough match against Ben Davis, and both of these players have beaten quality opponents all day long. In the end, though, it is the Scotsman Liam Dunster who prevails. He becomes our fourth winner of the weekend after Lee Clough.
Okay, welcome down to the arena where we do the presentation for the IPA professional event here in Coventry. First of all, introduce our runner-up, Simon Ward. Simon, I guess it was a case of close but just not quite.
Yeah, it was a bit of a strange one really. So in the semi-final, white was pretty good. I made things easy for myself, and for whatever reason, I sort of made things hard for myself tonight. I had plenty of chances to win the match, but especially at 7-6, I mean, the way the balls were running, I was getting a lot of chances, and when I started taking them, I'm thinking, well, I'm going to have a chance to win the match. And I just lost a bit of concentration towards the end. I overhit one ball to land on my overhead run, which was just a bad shot, and then I just didn't really connect enough to the last ball I missed in the end.
And just a word about your opponent, Liam. He's a tough nut to crack these days.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he's played really well and he's very consistent. Obviously plays a lot of events, and you can tell because obviously his technical thing's great. You just say he didn't really have that many chances. He was sort of, obviously wasn't getting balls to break, I think, so he was just sort of digging in and playing off wide left him.
Okay, well, Simon, it's been a long weekend, but well played.
Thanks, cheers.
And the winner is second IPA ranking event, Liam Dunster. Second ranking event, but probably one that means more than the first, with it being a professional event.
Yeah, I mean, I've never really, well, obviously won a tour before, so that was always one for the checklist. But yeah, that was my aim for this year. Well, at least one of the events. So
Last couple of years, you've been one of the hottest properties in the sport, winning numerous big events. Where does this rank with those achievements?
It's got to be up there, yeah. Obviously, Champions Cup 2 in a row in the Masters, and then the World Series event. That was obviously the first ranking event that you mentioned. Yeah, it's definitely got to be up there. I mean, the field in this professional events is just unreal. It doesn't get much better than that.
Well, it's been a long weekend, but hopefully the drive home will be a lot sweeter now. Liam, you are the European Professional Champion. Congratulations. So that's just about it here from Coventry. It's been a long weekend. Hope you've enjoyed the coverage. We've had some fantastic matches. We're all going to go drink responsibly at the bar, and hope you'll join us at the end of September for the 4th stop on the IPA tour up at Tynemouth. Before then though, tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, Free Sports sees the start of the champion of the Premier League, and so I hope to see you then. Thanks a lot and good night.